Hi, boys and girls. So a while ago, I told you about this book called Little Tree that I wanted to read to you. I think it was when we were talking about characters, and I told you that a character could be a thing, and Little Tree is a tree. But the book treats him like a person. So I hope you like this book. I think it's a sweet little book. Once there was a little tree filled with little leaves. Who was surrounded by other little trees who had little leaves of their own. In the heat of long summer days, Little Tree's leaves kept him cool. The squirrels would climb up on his branches to play, and the morning dove landed in him and sang her fluty song. The little tree was sure to grow up big and strong. Autumn arrived, and cool winds filled the air. The wind tickled the little tree as it passed through his branches and ruffled his leaves. The air grew cold, and the leaves on all the trees changed colors, becoming yellow, red, and orange. You see, little tree? And then one by one, the trees began to drop their leaves. But not Little Tree. He just hugged his leaves tight. Hello, Little Tree, said a squirrel. You're supposed to drop your leaves now. But Little Tree was unsure. What would he do without his leaves? Winter came. What are you doing with your leaves still on? Asked the doe. Little Tree just hugged his leaves tight. Springtime arrived, and the little forest burst into life again. The other trees grew bright new trees, and the squirrels played in their branches. Little Tree could hear the morning dove singing her fluty song. He can't get his new leaves if he doesn't let go of his old ones. The seasons continued to come and go. Little Tree, quacked a duckling, your leaves are brown. Are you feeling sick? A fox said, Little Tree, it's autumn. It's time for you to drop your leaves. You can do it. Ready? 1, 2. But Little Tree just hugged his leaves tight. All around, the forest grew and grew. One summer, Little Tree could no longer feel the sunlight. The squirrels played high above on the broad, tall trees, and the morning dove sang so far away that he could hardly hear her fluty song. Look how big the other trees got. Not Little Tree. Autumn came again. Leaves began to blanket the ground. Little Tree looked up at the other trees, at their branches reaching high into the sky, and he remembered when the trees had all been his size. And then he let go. Finally did it. At last, as his last leaf floated to the ground, for the first time, Little Tree felt the harsh cold of winter. But in time, look, he's starting to grow. Oh, look how big he is. Something happened. Once, there was a little tree. Can you see him? Not little anymore, is he? He grew big. So that's the end of that book. So Little Tree was kind of afraid of growing up and changing, wasn't he? But because he was afraid, he couldn't get big. So your assignment is to write about something that you were maybe afraid of. You could draw a picture of something you were afraid of, but then you were brave and you did it, and it turned out okay. Like I know some of you have talked about maybe climbing up to the top of the spider web at Jesse James Park, or riding your bike with no training wheels. Those are things you had to do to grow up, to get big, right? So you could do other things, kind of like Little Tree. So draw something that you were maybe scared to do, but then you did it and it turned out okay. Write me a sentence about it too, okay?